Hello, this is Cat and Alexander, and welcome back to my playthrough of Dawntrail. It's time for the caster role quest at last. The only reason it took me so long to get picked to answer to level 100 is because I was taking the slow boat to China, or in this case, the slow boat to 100. I was getting all the ether currents and doing all the little side quests in all the zones, and I didn't want to stream that because they're boring as sin. Actually, no, that's an insult to the giant whale monster from Final Fantasy X. They're more boring than Sin. At least Sin was an interesting boss fight. Anyway, hopefully this role quest will be worth it. The first one was. Oh, hello. Did Brooke Havu send you to help recover our stolen treasure? Thank the heavens, and judging by your accoutrements, you've learned the arcane arts, yes? If so, we're in need of your power and wisdom. Truth be told, it is wisdom that we require most. You see, even though the treasure has been guarded by our people for generations, we know little of its true nature. Oh. That's a problem. In ages past, the forests of our homeland were plagued with terrible beasts, and a constant source of fear and danger. To combat this menace, our mages spent many moons researching the treasure, known as the Perch of the Apex. Upon unlocking its secrets, they were able to drive the monsters from the woods, bringing peace at last. With the threat all but eradicated, our forebears forbade any further use of the treasure and enshrined it within the village. As the years passed, we slowly forgot what it was to live in fear. Yet as our struggles faded into memory, stories surrounding the Perch of the Apex became legend, then myth. Now none living are certain of its true power. Yet the peace was shattered by a member of the Passage of the Unbound. The villain wheedled his way into our trust and then stole upon my husband, the treasure's appointed guardian, catching him unaware with a terrible blow that left him unconscious. He has yet to awaken, so my daughter Tepeke has set forth to retrieve what was stolen. Unlike her father, she has no skill in the arcane arts and chose the path of the sword. That's why I've been seeking someone with the knowledge she lacks. Should the ancient power be unleashed, please, if you can find it in your heart to help Tepeke, I would be forever grateful. Consider it done. Oh, thank you, thank you. Now, our only clue to the thief's whereabouts is from something he mentioned during his stay in our village. He spoke of his desire to bring change to a place called Razetan. Okay. So, we've taken care of Discount Japan with the scouting job. Now it's time to go back to Discount India. That is where Tepeke decided to begin her search. So she boarded a ferry bound there, by way of Limsa Lominsa, with her trusted sword and shield close at hand. That's how you'll know her. She agreed to stay in Razetan to gather information until aid arrived. I know nothing of the place, but it's likely she can be found in a marketplace or some such. Please bring our treasure and my daughter safely home. I'll save the ranged role quest for last, considering the ranged role quest was the one mentioned last by the NPC that gave me all the role quests. That, and I went to level tank and then heals before leveling a machinist. So I already have 2 DPS jobs leveled. The only question is, which tank do I go with? That is the question. Yeah, okay. I know which tank I know which healer I'm going with. It's Astrologian all the way, but tank. I like all the tanks. Ooh. Like a warrior. Dark Knight, Gunbreaker, Paladin. Dark Knight. Yeah, because I got this Viper is... Yeah, Viper is too much like Gunbreaker. Pictomancer is too much like White Mage. Or Red Mage, or, well, whatever. Oh. I passed them. Oh, are you looking for me? Whatsoever for? Cat Knight, and you say my mother sent you. Take it she's already explained the details, such as how we know next to nothing of the treasure and its capabilities. We have only the legends passed down through our forebears to go on. They speak of a Taralvadrolv, an owl that once terrorized the forest, whose soul was sealed within the perch of the apex. Tales have only become more vague as the mists of time obscure the treasure's origin. Even our village's eldest remembers not but an ominous warning uttered by those who once wielded its magics. The master of the apex shall be showered with good fortune, yet leave only sorrow in their wake. It's clear that despite owing their safety to the apex's power, our forebears viewed it as something to be feared. It must be truly immense. Now on to the matter of the thief. Okay. Even during our brief acquaintance, he made plain his desire to bring change into Razatan. Naturally, I've started my search here and have been seeking anyone who's expressed dissatisfaction with the status quo. Sure enough, I soon heard stories of a recent arrival, a self-styled savior of Razatan, who proclaims that he will lead the city to greatness, and calls himself the Justicar. He's apparently taken on the burden of personally exterminating the beast which infests Thavnair's wilds. He made a great show claiming he alone is equal to the task. While he certainly draws a crowd with his boasting, they only watch from the morbid curiosity as he sets off into the jungles alone. I realize this could have nothing to do with our problem, but even the smallest lead must be pursued. I've heard he often gives speeches at the region's smaller settlements, so shall we go to see this Justicar for ourselves? Decided. I hear Yedlinmod would be a good place to start. Hopefully there we can find our next crumb of a clue. No worries, Daisy Luna. Yeah, I'll give you a follow back on Twitter. If that's what you want. I'm gonna head to Yedlinmod. I'll do it after the stream. Okay. Cat Knight, we're in luck. This boy saw the very man we seek. Seems he gave the same grand speech about saving the people, claiming that danger lurked nearby before venturing forth to combat it alone. Yet the radiant host could not, well, stand idle if there truly were beasts afoot, so one of them followed him. All we need to do is pick up their trail. He ran towards the shroud, but you might be able to spot him from Jaya's footsteps. You could see the whole forest from there. Thanks, you've been very helpful. So, Cat Knight, let's head there and see what we could see. Okay. Time to get on my UFO and fly. Hilariously enough, this is where I got the UFO mount. Huh. From the Hildebrand stuff. Okay. Now then, let us begin our search. Since I've never actually seen the Justicar, I suggest we find a Radiant Host soldier first. They do all wear similar armor, after all. Ah. Did I find him? Fallen Fungar. Whatever that is, it isn't moving anymore. Could be one of the fiends the Justicar is after? Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. And Retail is... Oh, those are fiends. No, it's a plant. Wow, this is a tricky one. Tricky. Okay, I'm blind as a frickin' bat on this one. Flower. Canvassing turret. Fresh footprints. Ah, there we go. Footprints, but whose? It looks like they're heading northwest. Yeah, I know. Northwest, follow the footprint. Radiant Host Soldier. That must be him, but what happened? We better get down there quickly. Okay. Not to worry, Cat Knight. He's unconscious, but otherwise appears unharmed. What happened? We heard you came here in pursuit of the Justicar. Do you remember anything? Yes, I eventually found him who was confronting that fiend that now lies dead. At last, a Justicar graces Razatan. I shall bring unending peace to this beleaguered land. You are brave to follow in my path. You indeed possess the mettle to even consider the terrors which threaten our home, let alone stand against them. Yet courageous though you may be, you are far too weak to fell a beast so mighty. Quit this place with your life while you are yet able. I am of the Radiant Host. If I ran from such meager prey, I would become a laughingstock. How bold to look death in the eye without flinching. I doubt not your conviction to defend Razat-Han, yet I believe it pales before mine. O Apex, bestow upon me your divine might! Not heed my call to require your power more than ever. Is something supposed to happen? Why? Am I yet unworthy? Or mayhap there is a button I must press. This is not what I expected. Stand aside, I'll dispose of this pest. Just give me a moment. It cannot end like this. I won't be made a fool. Come on, you moldy trinket, work. Transform me into the hero of Razat-Han. Oh! It's a luck-based thing. He brandished that idol and became wreathed in a mysterious light, and boulders started falling from the sky. Down they came, one after the other. That's when I must have been struck unconscious. I recall only faintly, but I think I heard the man mumbling, quite excitedly, as if he had come upon a sudden revelation, or as if he was overtaken by madness. Seems he got away unscathed. Either he had an incredible stroke of luck, or whatever he was beseeching to actually answer. False dichotomy. It was both. It boosts his luck at the cost of everything else's luck. It's like that one episode of Deep Space Nine, Season 2, where that one guy, that one competitor, the Quark, manufactured a device which caused, luck-based anomalies on the station because he wanted to open a gambling parlor of his own. Then it's as I suspected, the Justicar is the self-same thief who stole the perch of the Apex. But no doubt he's long departed from here. First, I'll escort this fellow back to Yedlinmod and keep a close eye on him. Head wounds can have dreadful after effects. So whoever uses the thing becomes incredibly lucky, and everyone else around him becomes incredibly unlucky. So it's basically like Zeppla in trinket form. Okay, more pronounced than that, but still. I had to make the joke. The soldier made his way to Razat-Han to make a formal report. And what an odd report it will be. His account seemed to align with the legends of the treasure's powers. The wielder escaped unharmed and brought ruin to those around him. Those falling rocks have been a freak accident? I'm not so sure. You won't believe it, he came back! Who came back? The Justicar? Yeah, it's not long after you left. He said he beat up a monster that knocked out a Radiant, and he was laughing his head off. Did he really do that? Is he really stronger than the Radiants? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Well, my mate can't stop talking about him. He wants to be just like the Justicar. His mom and dad weren't happy about that, though. I advise you and your friend to look for a different role model, but we thank you for telling us what happened. Well, there's one less fiend skulking about, I suppose. He may have been simply testing the treasure's capabilities. As far as we know, he's yet to use its power to evil ends. Find his motivations a mystery. To steal the perch of the Apex by force, only to come here to Thavnir and use it for good? Makes no sense. You've heard tell of this passage of the Unbound, yes? Many have ventured to Tuliotto claiming to be their victims. Yet here they would be saviors? He had such a noble goal, then why did he stoop to such devious deception? What could he be plotting? But that's neither here nor there. He stole from my people, and that misdeed can't be forgiven. Perch of the Apex helped us win peace. By its might, our forebears built the foundation of the lives we now lead. Till recently, it stood silent, a symbol of our pride as a people. It reminded us that we carved out a home within that inhospitable wilderness. Being trusted with its protection is a great honor. I was so proud of my father when the elders chose him. So proud to be his daughter. That since the day it was stolen, some of the other villagers made their standing towards him only too clear. I couldn't bear it. That's why I must get it back, to restore my village's pride and my father's reputation. There is still so much we don't know about the Justicar, but we have to assume he's learned to wield the Apex's power. I can't say whether those falling rocks have anything to do with it, but I won't discount it outright. I'll continue looking into his whereabouts. While we still have so many questions, with both of us working together, we'll find answers soon enough. A brand of justice. Ah, Cat Knight. I'm afraid there have been some more developments that are less encouraging. News of the Justicar's actions have spread throughout the city, in which, with each retelling of his deeds, become more valorous. Damn, speak, man! The younger citizens in particular seem to view him as something of an idol. Despite the creatures he hunts posing no real danger, he would paint them as mighty beasts in need of felling. Of course, the Radiant hosts are far too busy to trouble themselves culling every pest that casts a sideways glance at the city's gates. Yet the Justicar has twisted circumstances to his advantage. He proclaims to anyone who will listen that the Radiant hosts shrink with terror before these beasts, and that he's the only one who can eradicate them. Though you might expect such claims to be dismissed as wild ramblings, it seems no few have fallen for his ploy. The whispers of his exploits among the youth have practically grown into a clamor. Yet we mustn't be discouraged, for his increasing fame only makes it easier for us to sniff out his trail. And where better to start than Rozet-Han? I'll see you there, Cat Knight. He wants to defund the police because he knows that if the police are defunded, the monsters will eat the civilians and he can cause chaos. He's trying to become the replacement for the police, for the Radiant host. Look, as soon as I did the melee role quest, and saw the name, the Passage of the Unbound, no limiting principles, on principle, queer theory, the quest line, I immediately knew exactly the type of people we're dealing with. He wants to defund the police. Not because he thinks the police are bad or bad at their job, but because he wants to cause chaos. What better way to cause chaos than to put people in danger? He's going to show up, claim he's solved the monster problem, that the police are actually a detriment, to be honest. The police are getting in the way of him doing his job. And then he'll get the Radiant Host, try to get the Radiant Host defunded. The Radiant Host will be pulled back for review. And then the monsters will eat everyone because he won't be there. That's not hilarious. Such a good gag. Such a good fucking gag. If it wasn't for the fact something similar has been happening in the United States in real life, I'd be laughing at this guy. What such a kidder. Such a kidder. Yeah, such a kidder, you know? Given how large the city is, let's split up to cover more ground. I already have a destination in mind. The High Crucible. I hear the alchemists there can concoct all manner of tinctures and powders, including those which help in detecting traces of energies left behind by magics and enchanted tools. Fallen rocks have invariably marked locations where the Justicar has performed one of his feats, and I believe an alchemical mixture can help us determine if their presence is the work of the treasure. I'm hardly an expert in such concoctions, though, so I'll seek advice at the High Crucible. While I'm doing that, I would ask that you go to the Hall of the Radiant Host and see if they have any new information on the Justicar's whereabouts. Does that plan sound agreeable to you? Understood. Great, now that we both have our tasks, let's get to them. I'll meet you back here once my business is done. Oh, so you defund the police is the strategy, I think, is what they're going for here. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense in a demented sort of way. Reoccupied Radiant. Okay, what are you doing, man? I'm tired of hearing about this Justicar. His popularity among the citizens' younglings is quickly becoming a cause for concern. Try as we might to refute his claims that the Radiant hosts are allowing monstrous beasts to run amok unchecked. You know how young minds are, impressionable and difficult to change once set. We initially disregarded him as a boastful eccentric, but his alarming sway over the populace can no longer be ignored. We are at present considering whether to open a formal investigation into his activities. You and this ally of yours have done well in your search thus far. You even have a working theory about the falling stones. Quite impressive. Several of our number have encountered him during their patrols, only to lose sight of him under a hail of rocks. Such incidents have become all too frequent, and many in our ranks demand we act. For now, I'm afraid this is all the help I can offer. Please share what I've told you with your companion, and together we may yet unmask the Justicar. Okay. Fair enough. It's heartening to know that the Radiant hosts are taking this seriously. Thank you for thank you for speaking with them, Cat Knight. I have good tidings as well. I explained the situation to the alchemists, and they have provided a powder that should help detect traces of magic in the surrounding environment. I say help because the powder reacts only faintly on its own. To function properly, it requires the skills of one practiced in the arcane arts. Luckily, I have you. I've committed the locations of all sightings of the Justicar to memory, and the closest to us was at the perfumed rise. Let's hope this powder works as intended. Okay, back to perfumed rise. To the great work we go. Get on my pet Normie and ride. He's so fluffy. Unfortunately, he votes for Biden and watches CNN. But I mean, at least he's fluffy. The Justicar was sighted near here, and I didn't see any other conspicuous stones around, so I've sprinkled the powder over this one. Now, concentrate your focus, or inner eye, or whatever it is that's the locus of your power, and see if you can't detect any unnatural forces. Okay, fine, I'll point my paintbrush at it. So, were you able to detect anything? I knew you could do it. So because there are no crystals in the rock, the energy you detect must be the remnants of some kind of spell, is that right? In taking the story of the Radiant we rescued previously into account, we can conclude that the Justicar used the treasure to call those stones down from the sky. At least we now have an inkling of its true nature. Even so, not every question has been answered. The Radiant told us that even as the Justicar stood before the creature, he seemed to have trouble calling forth the Apex's power at first. My father once said that the perch of the Apex is much like the wand he used to weave his magics. Of course, the main difference between them is the unique nature of the essence stored within the treasure. I know little of such arcane instruments, but you must be quite familiar with them. How do you use yours? I channel ether into it. That's technically the correct answer. I see. Even with the right instrument, spellcasting requires the use of specific techniques. The Justicar seems to lack any such expertise, so how did he tap into the treasure's power? I suppose the perch of the Apex possesses some unique method of activation. When I spoke to the representatives of the other tribes about their treasures, no one mentioned special techniques being required, not that the relics should have much in common to begin with. You two, did you see an Auri girl pass through here by herself? I'm afraid not. What happened? Wait, I recognize you both. The hero of the final days and our recent visitor from Tyrol. Apologies for the imposition, but may I beg your assistance? It's all the Justicar's fault. All that Justicar's fault. The girl said that she was off to join that fool's crusade and ran out of Yedlinmod before anyone could stop her. Her mother begged us to find her. But if she's following the Justicar, she could be anywhere. You see, he's been sighted at locations scattered all over Tham there. We can't stand here looking at rocks while a girl is in danger, especially if the Justicar's involved. We have to help. That'd be much appreciated. We're searching places where the Justicar has been spotted before, so perhaps you could start where he hasn't been seen. Good idea. As far as I know, he hasn't been sighted in Northern Shores. Come on, Cat Knight. Other dark joke has occurred to me. I say jokes, I don't think they're going to go there. But this guy seems to like kids a lot. Just putting it out there. But that would be a little too on the nose, considering some... look, it'd be too on the nose. Look, I'm imagining a white man and some candy, and I don't like it. I don't like where this is going. Ugh. I'm hoping it's just the whole defunding the police shit. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah. Well, maybe he doesn't want to do all the other degenerate stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he likes kids. He might want to feed them to the monsters. That would be dark too, but less dark than what I'm thinking. Because what I'm thinking would raise the age rating, so even the implication. So yeah, no, let's not think about that. Ugh. This is the problem with being a terminally online culture warrior, especially after the Dr. Disrespect leaks. I say leaks, more like confession. This point. Look, my mind just goes to dark places. I just assume everyone is evil, especially when I'm hunting a bad guy in a work of fiction. Yeah. I heard fighting, so I came as fast as I could. It's a good thing you arrived in time to save the girl. Thank you, miss. Thank you. Get out of here, kid. You're bothering me. I'm glad you're safe, but your mother must be worried sick. You shouldn't wander off like that, especially not to look for a trickster like a Justicar. What? You mean he's a bad man? Yes, exactly. He stole an important treasure from my village, and now he's using it to make himself look brave. But he needs it to kill the monsters, to protect us. That's no excuse for stealing. He might have fooled you younglings, but the Radiant hosts know what he's up to. But he said he'd save us from the monsters. He's our hero. Radiant said we shouldn't be scared, but we all know the Justicar is the one who keeps us safe. We don't need the Radiants anymore. No hero can save the world alone. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say bad things about the Radiants. They protected everyone in the final days. I guess I forgot how much they care about us. Yeah. I'm sorry, too. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that after all you've been through. You said the Justicar is a thief and a trickster, but I hope it's not true. He's my hero. Well, I'd best escort her back to Yedlinmod. I'll meet you there later, Cat Knight. Yeah, sure. Considering the subject matter it was just referencing, I'd rather not be here right now. Whew! Every time bringing up that subject matter, it just makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable, but I mean, it is a possibility. He might be, you know, a bad man. Wood chipper father. Again, they wouldn't go that far in a teen-rated game. I mean, if this was Final Fantasy 16 or something, like an M-rated game, then I assume they would go there, but not in 14, thankfully. But he might hate children and just want them to get eaten by monsters. That I could see as a plot point. That wouldn't raise the age rating as long as it didn't happen on screen. That would be the more sanitized version of this type of individual. Even so, that's fucked up, if that's what he's doing. Ugh. Classic case of a broken man paying it forward instead of paying it back, which is where my mind goes when dealing with creeps like this. A girl and her mother are reunited, and I think we could both give ourselves a pat on the back. They're on their way now to inform the Radiant host that all is well. I would like to apologize for before. I let my emotions get the better of me. I rang that poor girl when she was hardly to blame for anything. I really shouldn't have been scolding myself. That night, there's something I neglected to tell you before. The man who now calls himself the Justicar came to us in the guise of a worldly merchant, who was eager to ask about the Perch of the Apex and its history, and I was equally eager to tell him, not even considering what he might do with the information. I'm so proud of my father for being appointed as its guardian. I suppose I was trying to impress the stranger out of sheer vanity. That vanity led my father to being attacked and the treasure being stolen from under our noses. I have no choice but to make amends for my mistake and bring it back. Yet some are convinced that the Justicar acts only to serve the greater good. I couldn't accept that he might not be as rotten as I thought and lashed out at the wrong person. From now on, I can't let my emotions cloud my judgment. I must remain calm and look at the facts for what they are. And the facts say that the Justicar has done no harm to the people of Thavnair. Yet. But I have my suspicions. Even so, the organization he serves, the Passage of the Unbound, is evil to its very core. If his actions at my village are not villainy, I don't know what is. The situation is fraught with contradictions. I still don't know what to think. What about you, Cat Knight? Even if he hasn't attacked anyone, his actions are stirring unrest. I agree. He speaks of justice and heroism with great bluster, yet there's something we're missing. Thank you, Cat Knight, for your wise words. I sometimes find it difficult to keep my heart from skewing my perspective, so I'm grateful that you're here to help me see clearly. So it seems our objective is unchanged. We track down the man who stole my people's sacred treasure, whatever his intentions may be. Unraveling them comes secondary to finding the man himself. I'll continue to pour my every effort into the search, so stop by from time to time and I may have something new to share with you. Cat Knight, I hope you've been well. Since last we spoke, the Justicar has been busy felling fiends all across Thavnair, leaving a trail of witnesses behind his wake. More than a few have reported seeing stones falling from the sky, which all but confirms our theory that the treasure is causing the phenomenon. The stories share one more particular commonality. Seems the pests he hunts have all been of the seedkin variety. Why he avoids beasts of flesh and blood is yet a mystery. It bears mentioning that each of these eyewitness accounts came from people who were rescued by the Justicar, who invariably appears just as these creatures attack. In fact, the Justicar has been there to save the day in every single instance of seedkin-related mischief. Awfully suspicious if you ask me, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. Some among the Radiant hosts have suggested that Justicar is planning these assaults somehow, and so he alone can reap the glory from thwarting them. I agree, and this should be our next avenue of investigation. Many of these incidents occurred near the Giant Skull grounds, so we should start our search there. If we can find one of these monstrous plants before it finds hapless prey, we may be able to shed light upon the Justicar's methods. Time is of the essence, so let's leave at once. Okay. Is this all taking place right around there? That's crazy. All in one zone. Just fly around this entire zone in circles, hunting this dude. Whew. Okay. So yeah, this quest is potentially a bit spicy. If it gets as dark as I think it's going to get. There's multiple interpretations of the data that could be occurring. Ooh. Ooh. I don't like where this quest might be going. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm not happy. Not happy. Not a happy camper. Any moving bushes, slithering vines. Not here in any case. Cat Knight, I'll search the western path. Why don't you search east? If you see something, don't strike to kill, weaken it, then capture it with this rope. We'll learn much more from a live specimen. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Capture our prey. This thing has a right to remain silent. Anything it says can be used against it in a court of law. Something to that effect. Oh, a Malbor. Law no teeth. Happy little accident. And Retribution of the Medine. Show the captured mobile seedling to Tepeke. Okay. Shuffler boogie. Oh yeah. Ante up, motherfucker. I see plenty of fauna roaming about. The flora all seems to be of the rooted to the ground variety. Perhaps my hunch was incorrect. I caught a Marlboro or a Morble. We found one. In fact, this is exactly as an eyewitness described. Why don't you keep it for the time being? Bring it to the Great Work, and I'll ask my acquaintance there to examine it with all haste. Mistress Tepeke told me what to expect. Well then, let's see the thing. Oh, I didn't expect to be so diminutive. If Mistress Tepeke's intuition is correct, then I expect some interesting discoveries are in store. You brought me quite a fascinating specimen. Indeed, I can say for certain that this creature's growth isn't natural in the slightest. Biologically, it's still but a sapling, as you can tell by its size, yet it is the result of a specific alchemical mixture, which is used to spur the growth of seeds and mycelium to an unnatural degree. The agents have the side effect of making the creatures more aggressive, which explains why such a small specimen would so boldly attack beings larger than itself. Yet the solution requires ingredients most rare, and the cost of procuring enough to synthesize it would be beyond the means of most. So whoever is behind this, they are likely well healed. So the creatures themselves, if they were all grown artificially, perhaps that explains why most of the incidents involved small seed kit. Rather than wait for them to mature naturally, the Justicar must have accelerated their growth so that he could deploy huge numbers over a short span of time. In fact, his plan likely requires they be small, weak foes in order to guarantee his victory. After all, the great Justicar can hardly be expected to bear the blemish of defeat. With these new details brought to light, it's almost certain he's staging these attacks on the common folk. Now we have a new perspective to guide our search. Perhaps you should return to Yedlinmod. I hear the Justicars the talk of the village, and they doubtless have stories to share. A splendid idea, thank you. Your findings have brought us a step closer to unmasking that villain. Let's hurry to Yedlinmod. The more accounts we have of the Justicar, the better our chances of predicting his next move. Ah, good old Final Fantasy XVI boss music. Okay. Time to come in for a landing. Rest assured, the Radiant hosts are well aware of the Justicar. Every day we receive more reports of him combating beasts in the surrounding wilderness. These encounters are never on well-traveled roads, it seems. They occur in remote regions that we scarcely patrol, along routes that are only used by a small number of merchants and porters. We've concluded that the Justicar either has uncommon knowledge of the behavioral patterns of these creatures, or that he keeps close company with a merchant who travels those obscure paths. Of course, he is a merchant. Oh, great, a kid. Oh, you're hungry to learn more of the Justicar. He's amazing. I was lucky enough to catch a glimpse of him on the road leading here, facing down a fearsome creature. I don't know how he did it, but he called down rocks from the sky to knock that thing flat. The Radiant hosts were away on patrol, so if he hadn't come to our rescue, that brute would have marched right into our homes. He shouted that he was the savior of Rosathan and even waved at me. Oh, he looked so impressive with the sun shining behind him. Exploiting the goodwill of children in order to profit. Ugh. Bastard. Don't tell me you've come chasing that half-baked savior. The younglings might be taken in by his honeyed words, but anyone with experience can see that he's nothing but a charlatan, and I have a story to prove it. Merchant I know took a tumble as he was transporting his goods. Not long after comes a Justicar, looking chivalrous as you please in his shining armor. But did he offer a helping hand? No, he ran off with nary a glance backwards. He may go on about slaying beasts, but a real hero would never ignore someone in need, even if they were just suffering from scraped knees and a bruised ego. True? Cat Knight, do you have a moment? I'm having a little trouble here. I sought this merchant out because I was told he dealt with the alchemists in the great work. I thought he might know something about the Justicar, but when I asked, he's been like this ever since. Apologies, I was just surprised that you would ask me about that madman. What connection could he possibly have with me? The fiends he fights are grown with rare alchemical materials, and we think he may be staging these encounters. Since you deal in such wares, I wondered if you might know how he came into their possession. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never spoken to that man. I very much doubt that. Perhaps I'll be more receptive to questioning from you, Cat Knight. Spit it out. You're working with him. You dare accuse me? Why, how am I to know that you aren't the one in league with Vera Zahn? Vera Zahn, you said? Who is that, I may ask? Huh? What? Did I? No. That's my name. I'd be a fool to continue this charade any longer. My son Virazon is the one you know as the Justicar. We suddenly confronted with his litany of misdeeds, I quite lost my composure. You're his father. Do you know how he came into possession of such rare materials and knowledge? He stole them from me, my most valuable materials and my precious maps. But I was the one who chose to hide that fact and bear the blame for my consequences. What can you tell us about him as a person? Irazon was obsessed with tales of legendary heroes even from a young age. I paid a great deal of money to have him tutored in the art of the bow. He became quite skilled at it, in fact, but not quite as skilled as his arrogance led him to believe. Due to this, and perhaps a lack of ambition, he never aspired to true greatness. Instead, he came to rely upon fanciful equipment and exotic potions rather than honing what skill he had. Pained me to see him fall into dissoluteness, but he would brook no counsel. So, several years ago, I gave him enough coin to support his lavish lifestyle and told him never to speak with me again. He didn't until but recently, when he darkened my doorstep once more. And that was when he stole your goods? Aye, although I would have willingly given them if he had but asked. Tongue-tied. He was rambling almost incoherently, saying that his heroic deeds as a Justicar had caught the eye of someone named Apiaya, a leader of the Passage of the Unbound, whoever they are. He claimed that under the guidance of his newfound allies, he had obtained a great power. Power enough to eclipse all heroes who have come before and shall come after, as he put it. It seems he gives what money he still has to these people. Think that for all of his fanciful words, he has only deigned to grasp at hollow glory. All at the expense of Rozet Han. There is no greater shame as a father. Given what we know of this shadowy group, they most likely aim to sow discontent through Virazon's deeds. He may be so blind by his own desire for adoration that he can't see whose hands are pulling his strings. Though saying that he's being used, that's true, then I can no longer remain silent, despite what shame it may bring. I see now that sharing my story might be the only way to save my son. Indeed, I suggest you tell the Radiant host at once. Of course, we'll be pouring our every effort into stopping him. Thank you for giving me direction. I didn't imagine our meeting would end this way. Truth be told, I'm not entirely unsympathetic towards Virazon. I bask in my father's reflected glory, and while having none of my own to speak of, the glory Virazon seeks is similarly false. I, too, shall visit the Radiant host and have them spread word of the Justicar's true nature. If the people are wise to his trickery, they will be far more likely to aid us. You'll soon learn that a legend built on lies is no match for true heroism. Wow, turns out the third theory was right. Yeah, okay, so he's basically a content creator. He's basically every content creator who has ever been outed on Earth rolled into one character. He's full of shit, but he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread. Okay. Greetings, Cat Knight. Virazon's father has been good as his word and has confessed the truth of his son's actions to whomever will listen. Even among the younglings, far fewer sing the Justicar's praises. The tide is turning in our favor at last. The Radiant hosts are making ready to tighten the net. Speaking of which, they had curious news to share. They've been examining the stones left behind by the Justicar and noticed a pattern. They were all varieties of rock commonly found near the site of each encounter. For instance, near the Giant Skull grounds, the Justicar seemed to have called down a hail of what else but Giant Skull. I have my own theories about what this means, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, Cat Knight. The rocks weren't summoned, but moved. Indeed, the perch of the apex likely lifts whatever stones are nearby and brings them crashing down to earth. If our suspicions are correct, we're one step closer to unraveling its mysteries. But despite these favorable developments, the Justicar's popularity remains a problem. Even with a recent blow to his credibility, his most ardent followers still idolize him! Yes, typical content creator. Only his most ardent followers will follow him and keep giving him money over and over and over again. And he will exploit them until the day he dies. In fact, I hear he's handing letters to the youth of Razat Han. Though their contents are a closely guarded secret. All the more reason to investigate, don't you think? No. Is it going to be 2 and 3? Oh, dude, that's sick. Once we get to Razat Han, if I question people around the marketplace, could you cover the city's western quarter? That's where his younger followers tend to gather. After we collected enough information, let's meet to share our findings. See you again in Razat Han, Cat Knight. Though to be fair, it's technically a 1, 2, and 3 mixed together with 1 being the weakest part of this entire quest line. I think it's going to be 2 and 3 mostly. 2 and 3. 3 and 1, not that degenerate. 2? Oh no, he's ew, no. Yeah, here's hoping that this guy doesn't go full Dr. Kid Inspect. Ugh. Though, I can tell that this guy is just... there's a little bit of everything in this one. This one's a bit more... less on the nose like the first one. This one's a bit more unique. Yeah, you have defund the police, rhetoric, you have abusing children, potentially, and you also have your typical arrogant, rogue, easily exploitable, useful idiot content creator that causes chaos without realizing it, supporting causes that make him look good at the cost of everyone else around him. Part of it. Typical slacktivists. So it's basically worst case scenario, this guy is George Floyd, Dr. Disrespect, and Hassan fused together into a single horrible character. Okay. I see where they're going. The Justicar gave me that invitation himself, only for some thief to snatch it right out of my hand. Huh? You believe in the Justicar too? Well, I didn't have a chance to read the whole letter before it was stolen, but he's gathering his most devoted for a special audience. The bastard who stole my invitation is clearly up to no good. He even muttered something about getting revenge. But who could hate someone so noble? Uh-huh. Yeah, I know about the letters. Me and my friends didn't get one, though. Grown-ups get angry if we talk about the Justicar. Guess what? I heard Zash Shaw talking about him over by Maraid's Mayhang. He had a big grin on his face, too. Does that mean the Justicar isn't a bad man like the grown-ups say? This Papa Lion is about ready to roar in someone's face and rip out their jugular. The wood chipper... I'm activating the Dark Factory of Wood Chipper mass production right now. I'm reserving judgment, but I'm activating the Wood Chipper factory spell card. I'm going to be painting a fuck ton of wood chippers with this Pictomancer by the end of this quest line if I'm right. I'm going to chuck them in there. Use them like make them into a really bloody ping pong ball. Oh, you're the one who's always following that Tepeke around. I heard she's spreading rumors about the city's savior. Won't let her harm his reputation any more than she already has, so I have nothing to say to our lapdog. That's lap cat! Thank you very much. Get it right? Now, considering the glam's loosely based on, well, you know, lap bun would also work. Okay, time to head all the way down here. It's true what they say, a fool and his gill are soon parted. Huh? Five isn't one of the heroes of the final days. This isn't about that map I sold to your companion, is it? Is it? No. You'll find it points the way to the vaults of Al-Zadal III, exactly as described. I may have employed a few, creative methods to entice my customers, but what merchant doesn't? I see you're as unscrupulous as ever. Now, a man can't fill his belly on virtue and honesty any road. Something tells me that's not why you're here. You're after the Justicar. Your choice of quarry is unusual, to say the least. But perhaps I can help you along, eh? A young man came asking for a map to open the way to Uznea. I sold him every map I had, assuring him that the one he needed was among them. Suppose he found it, as I hear these letters that were handed out containing a copy of a map. I dare say that young fellow was the Justicar himself, and he's planning a clandestine meeting in the Uznea canals. Mind you, it appears he has no shortage of enemies. No doubt they'll try to interfere. Thankfully, Rozathan isn't known for large-scale criminal organizations, but that hasn't kept the less scrupulous citizens from dirtying their hands when times are desperate. From what I hear, bandits seeking to rob trade caravans keep running into the Justicar during his fiend-felling exploits, causing their raids to end in failure. Like as not, they'll try to infiltrate his group of followers and settle the score. And that's where my knowledge of the matter ends. If you're wondering where the meeting place is, all I remember is that the spot marked on the copied maps is somewhere in the Shroud of the Semga. So does that answer your queries? It does. It does, good sir. Time to hunt down this bastard. Ah, hello. Those in support of the Justicar didn't seem surprised when I told them of his misdeeds. They still were reluctant to betray him. In short, I've no luck. What about you, Cat Knight? Your investigative abilities never cease to amaze me. As for this gathering Urazan is planning, I expect some scheme to prop up his flagging popularity. Even so, many of his devotees are younglings ill-equipped to make the perilous journey to the meeting place. If they have any sense, rather than attempt to travel there directly, they'll stop at settlements along the way to rest and confirm the route. You said the map led into the Shroud of the Semga. Yes, that means the Palaka stand is the closest settlement. I hear many took refuge there during the final days, and now it's a bustling town in its own right. The arrival of more people would hardly raise eyebrows, making it a perfect place to avoid unwanted attention while they make ready. We should head there before they leave on the final leg of their journey. Okay. And to paint all of these. Oh, all the way over here. I was right, Cat Knight. Many of the youths are carrying pieces of parchment. Those must be the letters. Yet it seems my reputation has preceded me. Our suspected followers clearly avoid me whenever I try to approach them. Still, we can use this to our advantage. None of them would dare leave Palaka stand while there's risk I might follow after. I'll keep watch over their comings and goings, but will make sure to leave obvious blind spots. If one of the Justicar's followers attempts to escape the village, I need you to go after them. Now, find a vantage point that affords a good view while keeping you hidden. Once you have started pursuing our unwitting target, I won't be far behind. Oh, I need to follow him. One of these quests, I see, I see. Okay. Need to follow behind. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Uh-huh. No one's following. You gonna turn around? Someone there? I'm not. You can't see me. I'm in the clear. I need to hurry. Okay. Just following. Following. They were really proud of this follow quest. They put it in everything. They really liked what they designed. And to be fair, they're not that bad. Once you get the hang of them. Oh, crap. So they do keep trying to spice them up. You made it. I need to get behind the tree. Did something move? No, nothing here. Nothing here but a cat cosplaying as a bunny. There is nothing here. Or I guess a dragon girl cosplaying as a bunny. The map points here. Oh. That was easy. I was expecting more. The portal should be nearby, then I'll finally meet him. What? You're the hero who saved us in the final days. What are you doing here? So you're working alongside that woman I saw at the village. I've heard about the rumors she's spreading that, but I had no idea she enlisted your aid. Jessica saved me, you see. I was transporting goods for a local merchant who was too miserly to even hire a proper escort. A ferocious creature ambushed me, but my savior appeared from nowhere and saw off the beast. I owe him my life. That's why I came here, to see if there's any truth to the rumors. And now I understand I'm in over my head. I'm going back home. Here, you can have the map. I trust you to take the measure of the Justicar and to share the truth with us all. Apologies for watching from the shadows, but I was afraid my presence might have startled the lad. I was able to hear what he said, though. And his gratitude towards the Justicar seemed genuine. I dare say the other followers feel similarly. Well, now that we have a map of our own, let's open the portal and confront Virazon. Oh, this is the treasure map dungeon area. Oh, I never really done the treasure map stuff yet. There's so much in this game I haven't done yet. What a sight. Did the treasure cause this? I've seen other people do it, but I have never done the treasure map stuff myself. So, I should get around to that at some point. Oh my, visit the hero who saved Razat Han. Nay, the world itself. I never expected someone so vaunted to attend my audience, but I am honored nonetheless. Enough of your games, Virazon. Stop this madness at once! They're giving you such a warm welcome. These are the thanks I get? Well, 'tis true that I was once known by that name. It was merely a guise I wore until I discovered my true self. So long as I am the masked hero of Razathan, I shall not suffer any to call me Virazon. But that is your name, isn't it? A hero should take pride in their name. Yeah, I call myself Cat Knight Alexander for a reason. My first name is Alexander. It's not just a reference to the summon. It would seem that Justicar's meager alter ego has been brought to light. But will he shrink once more into the shadows of mundane obscurity, or embark on the next chapter of his legend? Very well, my name shall ring throughout Razathan. Let it be known that the Justicar is Virazon, and Virazon is the Justicar. What are you saying? You unleashed the perch of the apex upon your own followers. You know its name. Wait, I remember you, the girl from Zaktaral, yes? The old village's artifact is not discriminating in its wrath. Some among my followers harbored wicked intentions, and it brought sorrow unto my enemies. The true of heart caught in the aftermath were merely unfortunate. They believe in you, even though you tricked them. What kind of hero are you? A fake one? You too would oppose me? I had thought that as fellow saviors we might find some common ground. Yet it would seem we are destined to walk different paths. Now, faced with an unknown peril, a great further rages within me. However, here is not where we shall match wits. No more fitting battleground is in order. We will meet again soon, you have my word. Ah, shut up! Yeah! You hit him! You're already better than the previous companion I had. In the melee quest. Holy crap, you hit him! You hit the bastard! It's almost like you don't have bad eyesight like that one bunny girl had. You can hit him! Woohoo! So can you tell us what happened here? He gathered us all around and made a grand speech. Claimed he was the hero that would drive back the flood of fiends threatening Thavnair. Then he spoke of his anger at the recent rumors. He told us to go forth and repair his damaged reputation so that people would love him again. He became quite impassioned, in fact. Wow. He really is every evil content creator ever in one character. As for us two, we were here to teach him a lesson, biding our time until his back was turned, but we couldn't stomach his self-righteous drivel any longer. He acts like he's a god come the Grey Thavnair, but most people have grown wise to his tricks, including the Radiant Host. We stepped forward, told him as much, and demanded that he admit he'd been pulling up the wool over everyone's eyes. That's when he started waving that thing about. We soon learned that the rumors of its power were true, and the rocks started falling down around us. Even us true believers were not spared. There was nowhere to run. The Justicar said such power cannot be fettered, and that sacrifices are unavoidable. And all the while he was laughing. We pleaded with him for mercy, but that just made him angrier. He flourished the object again, and yet more rocks assailed us. It was horrible. Stones big and small raining down endlessly until you two appeared, that is. Thank you for telling us what happened. I only wish we could have arrived sooner. Now, just to set things straight, it was you that brandished your weapons first, yes? Well, I won't deny that, but we were only trying to bring the truth of his misdeeds to light, though we might have had some personal scores to settle on top of that. Before I left Palakistan, I asked the Radiant Host there to look out for anyone returning from the wilderness. I suggest you head there and seek their aid. While you're there, share with them what you just told us. As for the pair of you, don't even think about running away, or you'll have us to deal with. Damn, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna have a quick break to get some food, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Everyone has returned to take care of the Radiant Host. As for those ruffians who meant to attack Virazon, it seems they had a history of violence for which they may soon answer. Several among Virazon's followers were dealt serious wounds, but we can be grateful that none lost their lives. It's exactly as the old saying describes. The master of the Apex shall be showered with good fortune, yet leave only sorrow in their wake. The part about sorrow certainly seems true, at least. We can but hope that Virazon's spell over the people will be broken at last when word of what transpired here becomes common knowledge. Let that buoy our spirits as we return to Yedwin. Let me guess, he's going to get on a boat to Charlian. Or something. He's going to get on a boat to Charlian, and we're going to have to track him down there. I mean, after all, you know, if you get banned off of one platform for being an unhinged, evil piece of shit, committing multiple felonies, you just simply change platforms where no one remembers what you did. It's not like the internet's forever. And it's not like these city-states would communicate with one another and let people know what happened. Over here, no, he's going to Charlian to escape. Calling it. He's going to Charlian. Well, that was certainly an ordeal. Although Virazon got away, we can look back upon what transpired to plan our next course of action. It appears that the treasure takes rocks from the surrounding environment and makes them rain down upon the wielder's surroundings. However, the power seems to be somewhat haphazard. While Virazon himself wasn't struck, the boulders assailed friend and foe alike. Something else has been nagging at me as well. The stones we saw in the canal seem quite a bit larger than the others. I don't know what to make of it, but I will give it some thought. We still don't know exactly how he controls the Apex's abilities either. We must focus on these mysteries as we continue our investigation. As for Virazon himself, he was just as his father said, wasn't he? His so-called heroism is an empty charade, like a child playing at being a hero from their storybooks. He seems motivated by vain desire to gain the love of the people, yet he cares nothing for their well-being. He'll learn his lesson soon enough, though. None will sing his praises after word of what happened at Uznair spreads. Even he must know this. I worry that his desperation will drive him to worse misdeeds. If the treasure is used with reckless abandon, it could cause untold harm. I must discuss this with the Radiant Host. Together we might be able to capture Virazon before he attempts anything drastic. Stand by for now, Cat. I'll be in touch the moment I have something to share. It seems Virazon has been laying low since our last encounter, I'm sad to say. However, that my investigations have uncovered little, but there's still cause to celebrate, for I received a letter from my mother with good tidings. My father has finally awakened after the grievous wound dealt to him by Virazon. He's well enough to travel to Tuliolo, in fact, and may have already arrived. Of course, I'd love nothing more than to go to him, but I pledged not to return until I had the perch of the Apex in hand. Besides, I'm soon to depart with the Radiant Host to try and sniff out Virazon's whereabouts before he acts out of desperation. That's why I asked that you go in my stead. As the treasure's guardian, no one living is more knowledgeable about its history than he. You share with him all that's transpired since we began our search. He may be able to point out something that we've missed. I know it's a lot to ask, Cat Knight. The safety of Thavnair depends on it, and please give my family my regards. My mother should be able to tell you where in Tuliolo my father is staying. Once you're finished, let's us meet in the Aetheryte Plaza and Roseton to share what we've learned. Okay, time to head to Tuliolo. Okay. Come on, time to head all the way down here. Oh, but it isn't Cat Night, but I don't see Topeke with you. Did you come alone? I'm glad to hear my letter arrived safely, and that Topeke seems to be as tenacious as ever in her search. Her father, Netsi, has already arrived here in Tuliolo, but has barely stayed in one place since. He seems desperate to help Topeke from a distance in whatever way he can. He told me he was traveling to the Piaro non-plane in search of information he assured me was quite vital. If you wish to speak with him, he'll doubtless be in the area. Oh. Wild West area. Okay. Thankfully, I've unlocked flying now, so I can just fly in all of these zones. Ah, okay. Probably help him out. And there we go. That. It's a hoot. It's a hoot hoot. Thank you, Traveler. I overextended myself. I've but recently recovered from a severe injury. Was a fool to confront such a beast alone. So you're Cat Knight. The Cat Knight I've heard so much about. I owe you many thanks for all you've done to recover the perch of the Apex. News of your progress in Thavnair is most heartening. Despite my position as its guardian, I never knew it could rain down stones from the heavens. Since arriving in Tuliolo, I've done what I can to shed light upon the Tyrol Vidral sealed within the treasure. After the nations of Tyrol were unified, some left our village to build new homes in the city. I've sought them out to see if they know anything of use. Fortunately, none could offer insight into the treasure's magics. But one of them told me that the owls lurked around this place. And since the Tyrol Vidral seal in the perch of the Apex was once an owl, it seemed logical to pursue such a quarry. I thought perhaps I could glean something about the ancient beasts from their behavior. Like as not, some fundamental aspects remained the same even after transformation. After having heard your account, there is one fundamental difference that stands out. As far as I'm aware, no owl native to these lands possesses the ability to hurl rocks, large or otherwise. No doubt Tyrol Vidral gained this power from following its metamorphosis. I do believe, however, that it would retain an owl's core instincts, that when you fought didn't strike unprovoked, instead it watched me from afar with fear in its eyes. While this is normal behavior for most animals, I was surprised by how suddenly it descended upon me at the moment I started approaching. It sensed danger and attacked preemptively. I had the same thought. The owl sensed a threat, chose to confront it rather than run from it, and this same impulse may have driven the Tyrol Vidral. Indeed, that correlates with something I heard from one of my countrymen who had relocated to Tuliolo. We spoke of a continuation up to the tales passed down from the elders. No hunter's arrow could fell the apex. It was struck down in a storm of its own wrath, made wild by a heart of fright. Thus was it sealed away at last. Now, judging from the owl's behavior, I could theorize that the treasure is activated when its bearer senses danger. According to the story, this power can easily get out of hand if its bearer is panicked. Of course, this theory must be tested first. Virazon will certainly use the Perch of the Apex again. When he does, I ask you and Tepeke pay special attention to the circumstances leading to its activation. You have my thanks. Loath though I am to admit it, I have yet to recover from my long convalescence, and I would only be a burden to you. I wish I could aid my daughter another way, but you more than make up for my absence. Please lend her every bit of knowledge you have, Cat Knight. I pray that my daughter will soon return home, treasure in hand. Okay, back to Rosathan I go. Cat Knight, you came just in time. Virazon has shown his face in Rosathan. You can tell me about your journey to Tuyo a little later. From now, come with me. Aha, are you surprised? Thanks to the sage counsel of a fellow hero, I have decided to doff my mask. Although my face may be unfamiliar, I believe you know who I am. I was once the Justicar, but now you may call me Virazon. I am Thavnair's protector, its savior, its hero. You may have heard salacious rumors that I have orchestrated the very attacks which I so valiantly drive back. That I was behind the catastrophe at the Uznair canals. I am here to assure you that those are false aspirations all, cast by those who are envious of their betters. I gave my life for this fair city and its people. I would give more still if I could. What should we do? It might be best to lock him up before this gets out of hand. Wait, we don't want him raining down rocks with all these bystanders around. For now, keep a careful eye on him. All I ask for is your respect, your adoration. A dream held by all but realized only by the few. And I would be one of those few. I have proven myself worthy of being your savior, and now, with the entire city watching with bated breath, I shall declare my intent to reach even higher. Ooh, are you going to pull a boogie? New cryptocurrency? Yes, or I can protect you all the better as your ruler. I shall retire the mantle of hero and take up the crown as the king of Rosathan. Vitra's going to eat you. The bastard's gone mad. I wield power unassailable. With me on your throne, you would never again have cause to fear. All would live in peace. All would shower me with love. They would shout it to the heavens, and from what that love would spring a new Rosathan, a greater Rosathan. Enough of your lies, Virazon. The power you wield protects none but yourself. To everyone else, it brings only ruin. Of course, the road to greatness is ever paved with necessary sacrifices. Yet so long as your ruler lives, Razathan shall know naught but prosperity. You think you're better than Master Vitra. He bore the city and its people on his back, while you look fit to collapse under the weight of your own armor. You're no leader, you're a damn joke. Does this man speak for you all? Is there not one among you who would follow me into a brighter future? Ah, but I am nothing if not magnanimous. Until you find the wisdom to accept me as ruler, I shall continue to stand vigilant as your eternal shield. Stop this, Virazon. You're only making it worse for yourself. Can't you see you've become a laughingstock? Give up this facade and answer for your sins. Do so now, and the Radiant Host may yet grant you mercy. My sins? Are you not the one poisoning the people against me? Do your worst, I dare you. It would only make me more powerful. You're not Trump, kid. You can't pull off the outlaw president shtick. You see, that requires people to actually like you. And it also requires you to have actually done things. Maybe not all the things some people wanted Trump to do, but he did do things. He did do things that even me went to vote for him a third time. You're not... Look, there's not even an election. You're an insurrectionist, an actual insurrectionist. I know not what is in your heart, but please end this madness. End it, and return to me, my son. This is literally just your typical ego Andy content creator who thinks he's a literal god who's lost what little mind he has. Don't get any closer. You two, why are you... What? Don't. We fight here. There's no telling how many innocents will be wounded. Pathetic as ever. I tire of this farce. I've declared my intent to become king of Razathan. As for you two, this is no place for a battle between heroes. We shall meet again, mark my words, and then we shall decide who is the mightier. It's me, but okay, cool. Damn. We can't risk a confrontation in the city. Oh, you're right, of course. As much as I hate to see Virazon walk free, we've yet to ascertain the extent of his power, for now we must bide our time. I noticed that despite all his proclaimed love for its people, he didn't even look back at them as he retreated. Perhaps he couldn't bear to look them in the eyes, or one of them at least. That was a disaster. Virazon is truly lost. At the very least, he's committed himself to fomenting unrest within Razathan. Although he's my son, I cannot condone his actions. His words are grand but empty. And that ridiculous armor is nothing more than gaudy decoration. He is truly the embodiment of false heroism. What's more, this latest debacle has surely made him a criminal in the eyes of the Radiant Host. All I can do now is beg him to grant my son some small degree of clemency. Before you go, may I ask you something? After Virazon called down the rocks, did you see his expression? I thought it peculiar, but I'm curious as to what his father saw in that face. It was a familiar look. When I used to scold him for losing himself in make-believe, he would get that same cast in his eyes. A look of petulant rage, as if he resented me for pulling him out of his reverie and into harsh reality. He hasn't changed. Apologies, but I must go. Just as I thought, even clad in his shining armor, he can't be to be told no. And now his childish games have taken a malevolent turn. But for now, we should return to Yedlamod. I still have yet to hear what you learned in Tuliol, after all. Ugh. Typical narcissist. Cannot bear to be told no and just assumes and just projects his own tendencies onto everyone else. Yeah. Another comparison would be Quantum TV. Or, to a way lesser extent, thankfully, my own mother. I would argue she's somewhat like that. She thinks I'm the one that can't bear to be told no, when yet the truth is, she's the one that really loses it when someone tries to bring her down to reality. Now that we have some room to breathe, I'd like to hear about your journey to Tyrol. Did my father have anything to share? I'm hard to know he's well enough to go chasing after owls and such, though I wish he'd take more care. Thank you for saving him and for bringing me his theory concerning the treasure. It really is triggered by a sense of impending danger. That might explain why Virazon had trouble using it the first time. He wasn't truly afraid of that small fungi until it was almost upon him. It also explains how he can wield the Apex's powers despite having no training in magics. It responds to emotion, not intent. So much is falling into place. He goaded the Radiants into apprehending him because he knew that the threat would be answered. You saw how nonchalantly he quit that plaza, almost as if defying someone to stop him. Virazon truly believes himself to be untouchable. I think his words and deeds align with the theory well enough. As for that curious fragment of a story, seemed to imply that Tyrol Vidrol lost control in a panic. Perhaps its strength grows in proportion to the danger it senses. And when that danger is too great, well, you saw what happened at the Uznair canals in Razan. You were present both times, as were others who wished Virazon ill. And both times we saw stones much larger than we've seen before. Now I understand why he's so eager to face you. An opponent of your caliber will strike fear into Virazon's very core. And that fear will summon a power greater than any he's ever known. Power enough to bring a hero to her knees. Or so he thinks, but we know better. We'll use that arrogance to our advantage and bring him crashing down to the earth. Although we may have to contend with falling rocks for a time, in a straight fight you'll be outmatched. So we strike fast and we strike hard until that fancy armor is nothing more than mangled steel. Although you may prefer to put your foes to sleep and whatnot, we know he has an arsenal of alchemical concoctions at his disposal. That's why I suggest a bit of good old-fashioned brute force. While you unleash your most fearsome destructive spells, I'll be your shield. Don't even think of holding back. I look forward to fighting by your side. Now we simply have to find a suitable arena. I shall consult the Radiant Host as to the location. Once that's decided, we will confront Virazon for the final time. Okay. To be honest, it seems a lot like just dealing with my mother without the falling rocks. My dad is just He hates bringing up shit with Mom because, you know, as soon as he tries to bring her down to reality, it's a fight. Whereas I only really pick a fight when I either feel genuinely threatened, not insulted, or just really pissed off and angry and I'm on edge, having a bad day. And even then, my response is proportional. So to be fair, so is my mother's, thankfully. Somewhat proportional to the threat. But suffice it to say, I don't really like having conversations with my mother for that very reason. Like, oh, great. If I have to bring up something she doesn't want to hear, she's going to lose it. Meanwhile, I have the opposite personality. I'm like, I bring up shit people don't want to hear all the time, and when people start losing it, I'm like, hey, fuck you! And I start digging my heels in, and it just ends up being an unstoppable force in an immovable object situation where you have two radically similar but polar opposite personalities in perpetual war against one another. Basically, she's hyper defensive and doesn't want to deal with anything. You know, unless she absolutely has to when it comes to shit she doesn't want to deal with. I'm hyper-aggressive and believe in solving the problems I don't want to deal with, so I can just get shit done and focus on the things I do want to deal with. And so it's just, we keep butting heads. She's like, I don't want to do the thing unless I absolutely have to. Unless it has to be done. I'm like, it has to be done now because I bet it's the most effective way to deal with it. And you're starting to see why me and my mom don't get along. Well, at times. Like, get it done quick, fast, efficiently. Now, if it's something she really, really wants to do, of course she'll do it immediately. Meanwhile, my dad doesn't want to do anything ever, for any reason. You'll be pleased to know the Radiant host are most helpful in finding a place fit for a duel. When I saw it, even I began to believe our encounter would be one for the songs. Speaking of which, it seems your name is on the lips of all and sundry. The people already consider you the true savior of Razat-Han and believe you will bring Virazon the deceitful to justice. We apologize for putting so much weight on your shoulders, but something tells me you're used to it. The final showdown shall take place in the mountain pass leading to Kadga, where great crystals will stand as witnesses to its conclusion. Suitably romantic and suitably isolated. The Radiant hosts have spread word throughout Thavner that a hero has arisen to challenge Virazon. His pride will force him to answer. The entrance to the pass is at the Giant Skull grounds. Let's head there at once to await his arrival. But yeah, meanwhile, my dad just doesn't want to do anything for any reason because, well, naturally the two extreme ends of me and my mom's personalities are both very active in our mindsets. And there's a lot of push and pull. Especially when we want to do two completely different things. Like, I want to move out into my own apartment, Section 8 housing. Meanwhile, she wants to move into the middle of fucking nowhere. Let's just say last year it all came to a head and there was more yelling and screaming in this house than there ever has been before, and probably ever will be again unless something horrific happens. Because we're moving out soon, so, aha! I sincerely doubt the new occupants will be even crazier than we are. I could be wrong about that, though. Rommel here has opened the way towards Khadga. I'm certain Virazon will arrive before long, then we'll wipe that arrogant grin off his face. But first, we should check our gear and gird our loins for battle. Are you ready, Cat Knight? I'm ready. Time to get some shit done. But I mean, that's just the difference between me and my mother. It's like my mom doesn't want to do anything that she doesn't want to do unless she absolutely has to. Meanwhile, I'm like, if I have to do it, I have to do it. I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to do it quickly and efficiently and get it done and get it out of the way so I can move on to the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing and just order of operations, get it done, get it out of the way. There he is. Basically, my mom's strategy, if she was like playing a game like Rebirth, would have been to just keep putting off orange quests until, well, and then just finish the MSQ and go, oh, actually, they're kind of crap. I don't really need to do them. Hard mode doesn't really appeal to me. She make 20 million excuses to not do them. Meanwhile, I'm like, okay, before we do the MSQ, every orange quest is getting done. Every single fucking one. I am forcing myself to finish every bit of content, even if I hate it, because I'm a completionist, and only the content that is truly frustrating and bad that has me at my limit will I rage quit on, like the 3D brawler shit. If it's something boring, I'll just do it. I'll just bite the bullet and do it. Oh, I need to kill 200 metal slimes before doing the MSQ in a Dragon Quest game? Fine, I'll kill 200 metal slimes. I'm not going to like it, but I'll do it, and I'll do it right now, and I will force myself to finish the task I started. My mom's like, well, I mean, we don't have to deal with that right now. We don't have to deal with that right now. We don't have to deal with that right now. So, I mean, we just keep putting it off. We don't have to think about the consequences until we got forced to deal with them. And yeah, all the bitching aside, it's time to fight Virazon. Through cragged peaks of Khadga, desolate winds blow over the field of battle. Oh, what a fitting location you have chosen for the conclusion of this legendary rivalry! It was right to not face you before. Its environs unsuited to a struggle between titans. Now my patience has been rewarded and my heart races in anticipation. I knew you would answer our challenge. You would never be able to stomach the people calling you craven. Such boldness in the face of impending doom. Have you not realized by now that so long as I wield the perch of the apex, I am invincible? We'll soon put that to the test. You rely too much upon stolen power. It deludes you. You claim to be a savior to the people. They have seen through your lies. Even your own father can scarcely bear to look at you. You're nothing but a small, small man hiding within the hollow facade of a hero. And today we tear that facade down. Will you now? You may have the medal, but have you the puissance to claim the mantle of hero? My mantle? Virazon the Deceiver. The time for words is past. Follow my lead. But yeah, that's just the difference between me and my mom's mindset. She's like, oh well, when she's trying to get what she actually wants, she's like, oh well, and people are bitching about not wanting the same thing. She's like, oh well, it has to be done. Meanwhile, when I'm trying to do something I don't want to do, but I have to do, I literally just go straight up, it has to be done. All these orange quests, yep. Don't like them, gotta do them. Completionist. Gotta get that Chadley cutscene. It has to be done. It's not, oh wow, I want to really, really do these orange quests. Like, no, I hate these fucking things. It has to be done, but oh, I'm going to hate myself in the morning. Fallen rocks, fallen rocks. Ah, crap. Blizzard and Cyan, Stone and Yellow, Thunder and Magenta. Pop that. Fire and Red. Rainbow Drip. I completely fucked up this rotation, but damn. Of course, the caster role quest is get good at dodging everything. Makes sense. It is meant to test what you need to do as a caster, and what you need to do as a caster in this game is get good scrub. Oh. I need to deal with these guys. Oh, stack, stack, stack. Ooh, move. Move. Oh, spread. Spread and move. Oh, no. Crap. Ah, crap. Don't die on me. Come on, cat girl. Hold. Hold the line. Hold the line, kitty. Hammer motif. Claw motif. Starry Sky motif. Oh, shit. Pop this. Blizzard and Cyan. What the hell? What? My armor! My armor! Okay. The artifact, I've never seen it shine so. Oh, okay. Shine so. Got it. Uh-huh. Blizzard Cyan. Oh no, this. I need to go over here. Yellow. Oh, that's a tank buster, but I need to move. I need to move. Okay, go out of the way. Pop that. Dodge. You know, for a joke fight, this guy's not really a joke. It's almost like if it wasn't for the relic, this guy would actually be a joke. Shit. Need to move. Help. Gotta get here. Oh, yeah, sure, whatever, man. You're meant to be king. King. King for a day. I see. King for a fucking day. Oh, shit, I need to save the cat girl. Save yourself. Save yourself. Heal. I can't heal you. Heal. Woo! Okay. At least my tank is a paladin. That's the good. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, you know where to go. Good. I am not losing to this fucking loser. Call me prideful, call me arrogant. This guy's a joke. I refuse to lose to a joke boss. Even though the joke boss technically has mechanics. Or more accurately, his totem has mechanics. Uh-huh. It's not a draw. This is a draw. Wait, did we win? Oh. No, we didn't win. It's phase 2. Oh, is he becoming an owl? Oh, no, we have to actually fight the relic. Okay. Oh, we have to save him from the relic. Okay, okay, okay. I see, I see, I see, I see. Oh, shit, oh, shit. Yeah, I noticed, I noticed, I noticed. Rainbow Rip! Holy! Yeah, I need a pump. I need the pump. Holy! Oh, thanks for the heal. Thanks for the heal, kitty. Thanks for the heal, thanks for the heal, thanks for the heal! Gotta hold, 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 hold! Oh! One and done. Not losing to this bastard. He reminds me too much of my mother for me to ever lose. Proper emotional motivation. Remind me of someone I don't like dealing with. That makes me want to kill them faster. He's out cold. Now to take back the treasure. This can't happen. A hero never falls. Give it up, loser. I must retreat. Yes, a tactical retreat. A noble retreat so that the Justicar may live to save another day. Huh? Fuck him! Got him! Ha! Fuck you! Look, I didn't paint that rock, but I will take credit for the Looney Tunes gang. That was totally me. If they ever unlock an extreme version of these role quests, that totally was me, okay? I did that. I suppose the Apex wasn't finished yet. And it seems that Virazon, in his cowardly haste, neglected to look skyward. Was it an unfortunate accident? Or fate delivering his just desserts? He claimed to be Razadon's savior, yet he sowed only discontent among its people. Perhaps some days, in a sunless jail, will give him time to reflect upon the error of his ways. And now I finally recovered the perch of the Apex. Thank you for coming this far with me, Cat Knight. The battle was hard fought, but we made it through. Virazon is the responsibility of the Radiant Host now. Now I've done what I pledged to do, I must return home and bring the good tidings to my mother and father. Yet before doing so, there are many others I must thank. In the meantime, can I count on you to meet my family at Tuliolo for one final farewell? My parents will surely be glad to see you again. Oh, I can just cast return. There we go. Okay, time to turn this in. I didn't expect to see you in Tuliolo again so soon. Is Tepeke well? She really did it. The man who stole our sacred treasure will answer for his deeds. Father, Mother, it's good to see you. I'm sure Cat Knight's already told you what happened. I couldn't have retrieved our treasure without her. So we've heard. Yet Cat Knight also told us your wits and bravery were essential to your success. On behalf of our whole village, I thank you for guiding Tepeke in her quest, Cat Knight. Now the perch of the apex must be returned and put under careful guard once again. The story of the Taral Vidrol's demise proves that we are not meant to wield its power as our own. I'm sorry, Father, but I disagree. Once I return to the village, I want to tell everyone what happened in Thavnair. They need to know what the treasure is capable of, or else we risk forgetting once again. I won't deny it, the Apex's power is dangerous. I saw it with my own eyes what happens when it's wielded with abandon. Yet during the course of our search, I also saw potential. We fully understood how it worked. We could use it without risk to ourselves or other people. We could turn something we once feared to our advantage instead of letting it become obscured in legend. I can see the reason in that. We must be ever ready for danger, even in times of peace. Should our safety be threatened, the treasure may grant us a means to protect ourselves. But can we be trusted to use it responsibly? Great power breeds great desire. Somewhat the same ambitions as Virazon may arise again, perhaps from among our own. I dare say that once I regale them with the rise and fall of the Justicar, they'll think twice before following in his misguided footsteps. As our forebears relied on the legend of the Taral Vidrol's fate to forbid the treasure's use, we can rely on the story of Virazon's fate to urge caution. And this time, we have someone who lived through it to tell the tale. Of course, if I'm going to be guiding people in safe use of a potentially dangerous treasure, I see no choice but to inherit my father's position as its guardian. Some may raise their eyebrows at the prospect of a loose lip to Peke serving as the perch of the Apex's protector, but I've grown from my mistakes. And who better to tell the tale of Virazon and Tepeke's failures? Your only mistake was in trusting Virazon, the same as I and many others. But unlike him, you had the willpower to overcome your own failings. Over the course of your long and arduous journey, you gained a wealth of experiences, and your efforts have finally been rewarded. You took responsibility for your actions, and by so doing proved your conviction to our people. They shall listen to this proposition with open minds, I am certain. Now we must say farewell. As much as it pains me to do so, I owe you a debt I could never hope to repay. Once I return to the village, I'll do my utmost to protect the treasure we worked so hard to retrieve. Until next we meet, may fortune smile upon you! Reach for the apex! Reach for the roof! Well... normally, I would continue to stream here because there's some stuff I want to do. But tomorrow, I have shit to do again. I have to wake up early, so I'm going to try and not go too long. Because once I'm done with all that shit tomorrow, if I have any energy left, I might stream some more FF14. Or I might come back on Tuesday. Because I was planning to, you know, unlock Mentor Roulette. And I need to do all of these extremes once. So I was thinking maybe about the time Tuesday rolls around, people might have reached level 100 and done enough of the other stuff and might be willing to do that. But then, I'm not sure when the raid unlocks. Let me look that up. Because if it unlocks on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing the raid instead. Huh. God damn it. I'll just look this up later. God damn it, can't find anything anymore. Yeah, I'll just raid someone in the stream here. Well, that's all for this stream of Final Fantasy XIV. If you like what you've seen, please give me a follow if you haven't already. And well, hopefully I'll see you either tomorrow or the next day for some more of this. In any case, this has been Cat Alexander. See you later. Bye-bye. I'm just going to raid someone. Huh. Okay, time to raid this VTuber. Start the raid. Raid now.
end the stream.